Hey everybody, NightShadow here, coming to you from always sunny Arizona. Although as I say that, I noticed we got a little bit of overcast, but hey, had a few comments about my bike. Everybody's like, hey, we see your mirrors and we see your grips and your levers and stuff, but what kind of bike is that? And I think I've mentioned it in a couple of videos, but I thought I would just give you guys a short little rundown of my bike. They're not real common. It's a Harley Davidson, and it's their sport bike version. It's still an upright bike, but you know, everybody's like, "Oh, it sounds like a sport bike," and I'm like, "No, it's not. It's not a sport bike, but it's Harley Davidson's version of a sport bike." Actually, pulling over here would be just as good a place as any. Yeah, let's pull over right here. It's kind of a cross between a sport bike and like a touring bike, but I wasn't ready to be a tourer, and didn't want to be leaning over all the time. As you'll see here, I'll back up here. You could see that it still sits upright, and that's kind of what I wanted. I didn't want to be leaning over a lot, but if you guys have been watching me or following my videos, I've mentioned I want a sport bike as well. I'd like to keep this one, and then you have a sport bike as well for a little better maneuverability and stuff. But yeah, so this is the Harley Davidson NightRod. And for those of you that have bought a NightRod or thinking of buying a NightRod, or the VRSCDX, which is a more manufactured version of this, there's not many accessories for it. So the first thing I ran into when I bought it was I was disappointed that I couldn't really customize it much to make it my own. They have a few things, but I really wanted to make it my own, like we all do with our bikes. And I don't even remember what I had done anymore. It's been a while, but yeah, I got all new mirrors. And I forgot what series this is, but I pretty much had to bring everything in and get it custom done by a company that I'm not even sure I can mention on YouTube, so I won't. But so yeah, they put new grips on, new mirrors, no levers. The levers were actually originally were that brushed nickel, that aluminum. I call it a barn shed metal. I didn't like it at all. So they stripped them down, powder coat, and they cut the tips off just to follow the contourness of these levers. I don't know if you can see, but they're off center. But they're awesome. They're beautiful, and they got the damping rubber grips on them to help take away the vibration and stuff. And this bike doesn't really vibrate like a Harley, but that's why I love it. I mean, it's a Harley, but it's not, if you know what I mean. It's I think that's why there's not too many of them out there, because there's not too many people that want a cross between a Harley and a sport bike, and this is actually perfect. It's well, I had it all dyno tuned. It's got a Comp 1 kit in it, and so it's, I think, 160, 170 horsepower, and you can see there it's 1,250 cc's. I think it weighs 600 and something pounds dry weight. But I had a lot of the brake pedal and the clutch and different things I had powder coated, because they were all this kind of brushed aluminum barn shed metal, as I call it. I didn't want it on there. I wanted everything black and chrome. And there's some custom covers that I had made, and I don't really know the terminology. I know basic forks, got new forks put on it and different things, but still got to do the blinkers and the brake lights. I would like to get these little LED lights. It's actually the same series as this, and I don't recall the series. I probably should. Oh, Arlen Ness, that's what it is. Arlen Ness with an N, N-E-S-S. They make some really cool stuff. And when I bought it, like I said, everything had to be custom for this. I couldn't even find an LED light that fit this bike. They don't make one. As of today, February 19, 2015. So I had to have a custom canister made. And this is a Harley Davidson LED light, which is awesome, by the way, but it wouldn't fit this bike. It didn't go on this bike. So I had to have a custom canister made to have that awesome LED light put in there. So I had that done. So I don't know. I think I spent probably way more than I should have, but I wanted to make it my own, you know. I had this the brake lever redone, and the exhaust is a Vance and Hines exhaust, which is nice. I mean, I love it. I can't really remember. I think that came from my backpack. I think my backpack landed on there and melted. But there's some things in here. I think this was all done. A lot of the covers, the things I did to blacken it out. I think the springs, these things. So there it is. The Harley Davidson NightRod. What's interesting about it is when I had it upgraded to the Comp 1 tuning, dyno tuning kit and stuff, they wanted to put mid-lever controls in because you can see the controls are still ahead of you. So you kind of have crazy power, but the bike's heavier, so it kind of compensates for that. But once they increase the power even more, they were all warning me that you need to put, mid-lever controls in so you're not flying off the end of the bike. And I told them, I'd be careful, and they were really concerned about that. Because even if you hit a bump, as you sport guys know, it doesn't take much on the throttle before, if you're not hanging on, and you can see you sit upright in this, so you're not leaning over the tank. And if you'd accidentally hit the throttle, you're flying off the end of the bike. Well, if you look at the older versions of the V-Rods or the NightRods, I think 2011 or 2010 and before, the back seat wasn't up and down like this. It actually was more of a contoured seat. And that's exactly what was happening. People were flying off the end of the bikes because you're sitting upright to begin with. And 160 or 170 horsepower, whatever this is now with the kit. And if you're not hanging on, away you go. So you kind of have to have some experience about, when you're going to do things or whatever's going on around you. If you have any inkling at all that you're going to be hitting the throttle, it's time to move forward or to secure your legs and get your butt in the seat. So they made the seat more up and down so it holds you in really nice. But like I said, someday I'd like to get the brake lights and the blinker lights. They're smoked out. They're okay. They're okay. They're cool. But Arlen Ness makes some really nice LED lights but again, they mount from the side. These mount from the top. So again, I'd have to have some custom fittings put in to accommodate those lights. So anyway, I love it. It's just a lot of fun, and it drives nice. It sounds nice. It doesn't really have the sport bike maneuverability because you're sitting so low. You can see how low it sits because it's a Harley. You're still sitting upright, so it's kind of a comfortable touring bike, but it's not. But you can't corner like you can on a sport bike. I mean, I'm always pegging these things. I'm always putting the pegs on the ground, and and they fold up so it doesn't jump the bike or hop the bike, and they do that on purpose again. But those are the days where it's like, today should be all about cornering. I should be on a sport bike. But it's cool. It's fun. I'm having a great time with it. Want to keep it. I really love it. I'm glad I got it. And it's funny because even Harley guys, I've had Harley guys pull up to me in gas station. They're like, shit, I didn't even know it was a Harley until I drove up to you and saw it said Harley. Because again, Harley guys, Triumph, Indian, some of these guys that are really into touring bikes, they're not going to buy this bike. And sport bike guys aren't going to buy this bike. So it really is why you don't see too many of them. You got to run into a guy or a gal like me that wants kind of a hybrid, but still wants the power, but wants the ability to sit up a little bit more. But there are some compromises. But there it is. I love it. I think I'm going to have it for a long time. And it competes really well with a lot of the sport bikes out there. Now you get up to a leader bike, because of the weight, you know, they're half the weight. Then they got me, but that's okay. I'm not out there to race and kill myself, so it's plenty. And I do see, you know, why they wanted me to put the mid lever controls in, because I do have to be careful that I don't just, you know, hit the gas and your legs want to come up, you know, they want to fly up off the brake pedal and the clutch, or not the clutch, shifter. So anyway, I'm a little tired. I'm out of breath just sitting here. Oh, wow, this is quite the view up here too. This is Fountain Hills for you, Arizona. It's a beautiful place. So anyway, there's my bike. You guys got any questions? Keep sending in the comments. I'll just I'm gonna go to the other side again one more time for you. And there it is. Lots of fun. So if any of you guys are looking at a NightRod or a VRod, hopefully this helped you out. There's aftermarket stuff, but there's really nothing out there for this bike. So just plan on just getting just a few things that are available for it. Anything else you're going to want done, it's going to have to be custom. So it just costs more. But so I guess that's kind of a bummer. I mean, hopefully as the years go on, they come out with more and more stuff for it. But I think it just has to do with, this is obviously not their most popular bike, but it is a fun bike. It is just fun. I just can't. It's just fun. The only thing it doesn't have is the maneuverability of a sport bike, and maybe, you know, the cornering ability. And it's because it's 600 and something pounds. It's a little heavier. But besides that, it's a blast. I really enjoy it. It's got a nice sound to it. So, all right. So that's my bike in a nutshell. Hopefully that answers a lot of your guys' questions. And let's hit the road. Let's go see what we can find out here. Yeah, this is a nice place up here. Yeah, very cool. Need to come up here more often. Get away from it all. Look down on the working world and watch the busy bees go at it.